Welcome to What the Tech, the show that cuts through the noise to give you the real story. Today, we're not just reporting the news, we're conducting a post-mortem. The subject? Agile, and why it's dead.
But let's get one thing straight, right from the jump. This was not a natural death. Agile didn't just fade away into obscurity. Our analysis shows it was a slow, methodical killing for profit, an inside job. And we're going to follow the evidence, step by step.
So our first piece of evidence is pretty wild. It's a look back from the future, a retrospective written in the year 2035, treating Agile's death as a historical event. Think of it as the official autopsy report on a fallen idea.
And what did this future autopsy find? Well, the conclusion is just dripping with irony. Agile, the very movement created to fight bureaucracy, ended up becoming the monster it swore to destroy. It promised freedom, but it delivered chains, collapsing under its own bloated weight.
But to really understand the crime, you first have to understand the victim. So let's rewind, let's go all the way back to 2001 and that original simple manifesto. What was Agile supposed to be before it all went wrong?
This timeline, it tells a story we've seen 1,000 times. It starts out pure, right? A noble idea in 2001. But then the 2010s hit, and it's a gold rush. Consultants smell money. By the 2020s, it's peak bureaucracy, all certifications and ceremonies, which leads, of course, to the big players just walking away.
And at its heart, the original idea was so beautiful, so practical. Just look at this. Responding to change over following a plan. The whole point was just to build stuff that works and be ready to pivot. That's it. It was about being pragmatic.
But that simple, powerful idea, it got completely lost. It's just devolved into these endless, soul-crushing debates about story points and velocity charts, metrics that tracked activity, not actual value. The original spirit was just gone.
Okay, so now let's dig into the official cause of death. You know, the story you'll find on the surface. What does that initial autopsy report say about how this whole thing went south?
So the official report lists three main culprits. First, bureaucracy, that it created itself, where the meetings and the documents became more important than the product. Second, the rise of something called the Agile industrial complex. And third, the shift to dogma, where teams weren't being agile anymore, they were just performing agile theater.
Now this term right here, the Agile industrial complex, this is our prime suspect. This is the whole ecosystem, the trainers, the consultants, the certification mills that realized selling a rigid, complicated doctrine was way more profitable than actually teaching teams how to adapt.
And this chart just lays it bare. It's a complete inversion. Every single noble promise got twisted to serve an industry. Empowering teams? Nope, let's serve an industry. Eliminating waste? Nah, let's create more certifications. The process became the product.
So that's the official story. But this is What the Tech. We go deeper. The hard-hitting truth is that this decay wasn't an accident. It wasn't a bug. It was a feature. It was an inside job. And the motive was pure profit.
This quote from the analysis really gets to the core of it. This wasn't just a few bad apples. The entire system was rewired. It was actually incentivized to fail at its original goal because its new goal, making money for the consultants, was just so much more lucrative.
And that brings us to the central question in any good investigation, right? If a crime was committed, what was the motive? Why would a whole industry work so hard to sabotage the very ideas it claimed to be selling?
The answer is as old as time itself. Follow the money. The second an idea becomes a product, the game changes completely.
And here you go. This is the smoking gun. This chart shows it all. As the profits for the Agile industry went through the roof, the actual value that teams got from Agile plummeted. The more money the experts made, the less it worked for everyone else. It's a perfect inverse relationship.
So here's our final verdict. Agile didn't die because it was a bad idea. It was killed. It was killed because the framework itself became the product. And when you're in the business of selling a rigid, complex product, true adaptability, the very soul of Agile, is terrible for business.
Now, why should any of this matter to you today? I mean, Agile is dead, right? Well, it matters because this story is a warning. This exact same pattern of decay, it's happening all over again. Right now.
Just look at this list. SAFe, OKRs, even big cultural shifts like DevOps and all these new AI transformation playbooks.
They all have these booming industries of consultants and certifications growing around them, putting them on the exact same path to ruin that Agile went down.
And this right here is the key takeaway. We're calling it the decay curve. It's a universal law. The moment a good idea becomes a revenue stream for a whole industry of experts, a countdown timer starts. A countdown to bloat, bureaucracy, and ultimately irrelevance.
So we're going to leave you with one final question, a question you should ask at your own job. Look at the frameworks you use every day. Are they really just a tool to help you get work done, or have they become a product that is being sold to you? The answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know.